Hey y'all, I just dug up these clams at Birch Bay State Park in Washington State, and I want to just talk about a few of the distinguishing features that you can pay attention to when you're deciding which clam is which. So this is for people that are brand new to clam digging and just want to be able to more easily ID the different types of clams that they're digging up. So I think the most helpful thing to pay attention to first is just the line patterns on the shell. So I've got a butter clam bottom right here, and the butter clam is only going to have concentric lines going horizontally. There are many other characteristics of the butter clam, but in terms of just triaging and deciding what is what, it's just helpful to know that the butter clam's only going to have those concentric lines. The cockle clam is only going to have radiating lines or radiating ridges that are extending from the hinge of the shell. Cockle clams have these really pretty shells. They're found shallow whenever you're digging, but yeah, that's one of the just key characteristics of a cockle clam that will help you ID it quickly are these radiating ridges. And now we move to the Manila clam, which I have one of here on the left, and the Pacific littleneck clam, also known as the native littleneck clam on the right. And these were the ones for me that took a little bit of time, a bit more time, just to be able to confidently distinguish between the two, because if you're looking at the lines, they both have the radiating lines going vertically and the concentric lines going horizontally. So that's not of great use. And shape-wise, a lot of the guidebooks say that the Manila clam, you can spot it because it has an oblong shape, which is certainly true when you're comparing these two side by side. It's a bit easier to make note of that. But when you just dig one of these up and you're trying to determine if it's oblong, at least in my experience, that can be a little bit harder because they both have some oval-like shape to them. So one of the most helpful pieces of information that I've found is finding where the hinge is on the shell, and then to the left of that, the Manila clams are going to have this dimple or a divot here. So if you press your thumb or a finger there, you'll just feel a pocket, a divot. Whereas if you do the same thing on the Pacific littleneck clam, you should feel a ridge that's within that pocket there. So you'll feel a ridge protruding there, and that's again one of the most helpful ways I've been able to just tell these two apart. The other super helpful piece of information is just understanding that where you're digging for clams determines, generally speaking, if you're going to be digging up Manilas or Pacific/native littleneck clams. These Manilas are found higher on the intertidal zone, so higher on the beach, further away from the water, and they're found really shallow. Like, you don't need to do much digging to start to find these, and again, they're much higher, and you typically won't find these two hanging out together, whereas you'll find, if you dig up, if you find one Manila, there's likely a lot of others nearby. Size-wise, these two that I have here are about the same size, but in my experience, this is a large Manila clam. I've got another one here. This is more kind of on average with what I find and keep out there. You find a lot of smaller ones that don't meet the 1.5 inch requirement to keep. But yeah, the guides will tell you that they can range, their size range is about the same, but in practice, the Manilas will generally be smaller. And yeah, I hope that's a helpful video, and particularly in determining the difference between a Pacific native littleneck clam and a Manila littleneck clam. Have fun out there.